The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development. With a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives, at The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Vincent Wong!
Nice to meet you, Paul. Thank you very much for the introduction. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, raise your hand if you'd like to learn how to make a lot of money in property. Can I see a show of hands, please? Also, raise your hand if you like the idea of retiring rich and retiring early. Can I see a show of hands, please? Turn to the person next to you and say, you're in the right place. So, firstly, I want to say a huge thank you to you for being here. You know, they say that success is about turning up. And also, I would like to thank Bernardo and their team for putting on this amazing exhibition. So please give yourself and Bernardo and the whole team a massive round of applause. So, I've been asked to come here to talk about property investing. So, let me ask you a question. Raise your hand if you like the idea of investing in property and making a lot of money. Can you see your hands, please? Awesome. So, let me just get to know you a little bit. So, raise your hand if you're completely new to property investing. You're looking to buy your first property, perhaps. Can you see your hands, please? Okay, quite a number of you. Raise your hand if you're already investing in property. You've got one or more investment properties. Okay, and raise your hand if you have no idea what you're doing here. Oh, there's always one person. That's fantastic. Okay, so here's what we're going to be learning today. How do you invest in property and build a multi-million pound portfolio? So specifically, I'm going to talk about some problems being faced by investors today. And I'm going to share with you two powerful investment strategies that will allow you to invest in property without using any of your own money. Who likes to sound there and say yes? Now, that's not very enthusiastic about investment with no money. Can I see a show of hands, please, if you'd like to invest in property without using any money? Say yes! Awesome, thank you. And I'm going to give you a big opportunity towards the end as well. So how does that sound? Yeah, how does it sound? Awesome. Okay, firstly, I want to just ask you a few questions. Why do you want to invest in property anyway? Can someone just shout out, because it's not a very big class? Why property? Why is it a good thing among all the other asset classes? Population increasing, that means what? Higher demand than supply. Good. What else? Inheritance. Property creates a legacy. Would you agree? You know, I actually inherited my first property from my grandmother when I was 15 years old. And that is something that I can pass on as well. That's good. Anyone else? Asset appreciation. Thank you. What's your name, please? Vera. What does that mean, asset appreciation? So you buy something once and it goes up in value without you doing anything to it. Raise your hand if you like the idea of owning something that goes up in value while you sleep. Can I see your show of hands, please? Awesome. Okay, so apart from asset appreciation, what else is there? Cash flow. Why? How do you get cash flow from property? Who said that? What's your name, sir? Sorry? Marcel. Awesome. So how do you get cash flow from property? Anyone? From the rental income, right? Rental income. So that means once we've got a property portfolio, it pays you every single month. And that's what we call passive income as well. Does it make sense? Yeah. Right? So there are many reasons why we invest in property. And for me, particularly, compared to all the other asset classes, for property, you only need to put down a small amount of deposit compared to the entire investment. Yes or no? Right? Yes or no? Yes. Right? If you want to invest £100,000 of gold or silver or whatever commodity, you have to put down the whole amount. But for property, you only need to put down a small amount. Do you know what that principle is called? Anyone? Leverage. Who said that? Thank you. What's your name, sir? Phil. Can you please give Phil a massive round of applause? Come on, massive round of applause. So I'm going to show you how to invest in property, but when I talk about investing with none of your own money, does that sound too good to be true? Yes or no? I'll tell you what the problems actually are. The first problem, most people are actually broke. So if you don't believe me, I just read a report from Washington Post. 1% of the population actually controls 90% of the wealth. How does that work? So when I talk about being wealthy, raise your hand if you'd like to become wealthy. Can you raise your hands, please? Say me. Come on, you don't want to be wealthy. Come on, show me some energy. Raise your hand if you'd like to become very wealthy. Me. Thank you. So how do you become wealthy? So for a lot of people, it's about putting in more hours, right? Doing overtime, making more money. And that's not true. So what is the definition of wealth? Can anybody tell me? I tell you, here's an exercise I would recommend you do. I'm sure many of you have never done it. Draw a line in the middle like this. On the top, I want you to write down, list out a list of items, everything that you own. Okay, everything that you own, your cars, your toys, your property, or whatever materialistic things that are in your possession, right? Everything that you own. And also list out everything that you, what? You owe. And what is the difference? What's the difference between what you own and what you owe? That's called your... What's that called, please? Net worth. So if you're talking about wealth, it's determined by how much net worth you have. And if you do this and you find that your net worth is actually very little, then you're not in a good place. All right, you're not wealthy. If your net worth is zero or negative, you're financially broke. Right? You see what I'm saying? It's not about making how much money, it's about your net worth. So the good news is, ask me what's the good news? Good news is property will allow you to increase your asset and increase your net worth. But there is another problem. Ask me what's the problem? It costs money to buy property, yes or no? Right? So raise your hand right now if you're trying to save money for a deposit to buy your first house. Can you see your hands, please? Wow, quite a number of you. So how are you getting on with that? Well, let's do a little exercise, shall we, to see how you're getting on. So right now in the UK, what's an average price of a property? What do you reckon? Well, if you're talking about London, obviously it's a lot more, yes or no? So just give me a number. What do you think it is? 300,000. About 300,000 maybe? Can you still get anything for about 300 grand in London? Not really, but shall we say 300 to start with? So this is the average price of a property in the UK, just for you to get on a property ladder. So how much deposit do you need to put down? 5%, of course, you can. In some cases, you can get a loan from the government, but that means your interest rate is going to be what? Pretty high. So at the very least, you want to put down about 20%. Yes or no? So what's 20% of 300,000? Okay, 60,000 is the amount of deposit that you need to have in order for you to get started at the very minimum. So for those of you who are saving for a deposit, how much are you putting aside every single month? I always get blank faces when I ask this question. So how much do you put aside? £300 a month? Someone said, no, come on. Well, if you're not even doing that, let's say you put aside £300 a month, right? I doubt very much if many of you actually have the discipline to do so. So how much do you actually get in a year? That's how much you save a year, right? So how many times does 3,600 go to 60,000? How many years? 18 years. It doesn't quite work, does it? Say no. Turn the person next to you and say, no, that doesn't work. Come on, tell the person next to you and say, no, that doesn't work. So, okay, let's say we double it to £600 a month you put aside. So how much do you get then? 7,200. So how many times does 7,200 go into 60,000? About 8-9 years, right? 8-9 years. So you better get started, yes or no? All right, so if you put aside £600 every single month now for 8 years, then 8 years from now, at least you can see light at the end of the tunnel. You will have enough money for a deposit to buy your first house, right? No. Why? Can someone tell me why? What do you think is going to happen to this 8 years from now? What is it going to be increased to? $600,000. So, what does that tell you? Saving money actually does not work. You're actually killing yourself. That means that if you really want to buy just one single property, saving actually does not work. So how do you explain the fact that a lot of people can actually buy so many properties while some people, like, some of you, will have to take forever just to get one? So do you want to know what the solution is? You have to give me a lot more enthusiasm than that. Do you want to know? Do you want to get rich or not? Say yes, twice as loud. Say yes. Awesome, thank you. All right, so can I just tell you how I got started to get to where I am today before I give you some of the strategies? Can I tell you? All right, this is where it all started. This was many years ago when I started qualifying being a pharmacist. That was in 1992. And this picture shows that men could be like fine wine. We get better with age. I hope you think that. Yes, well, thank you. So I was working at a pokey little pharmacy counting tablets, and I always had bigger aspirations. I wanted to do better. Raise your hand if you feel that you've got a giant trap inside of you bursting to come out. You've got bigger you inside of you. Say me. Thank you, that was me. So I decided that I wanted to do something else. But at the time, apart from counting tablets, being a pharmacist, I didn't know what else to do. But they always say to you that education is important, yes or no? Yes. Getting qualifications is important, yes or no? So I went on and I studied for an MBA. I sold my car and I sold my worldly possessions, got an MBA. And then what happened was, I got my degree, but I thought that I could just walk into the best job in the City of London, being one of those swinging traders, or banker, or being a consultant. So I applied for many, many jobs. But guess how many job offers I actually got? 0. You know why? They told me that I was overqualified. Overqualified? Has anyone told you that before? They tell you that go and get some qualifications, but they never tell you that, hey, go and get some qualifications, but be careful because there is a point at which you can overdo it. So I was overqualified, I was unemployable. So what do you do if people don't give you an opportunity? Absolutely. Raise your hand if you believe in making your opportunities. Can you raise your hands? Thank you. So I went on to start a business. But back in sort of 97, 98, do you remember that during that time, what was the biggest thing? Today, you're talking about crypto trading, online businesses. What do you think was the biggest thing back then? It's called .com. Do you remember the .com thing? And so basically any company with a .com you could raise millions of pounds of finance. So that kind of reminds me of people when they ask me, should I invest in cryptocurrencies or digital currencies? Well, I'll say to you this, just remember what happened in the past. When .com was nothing but just a tool, just like a website today. But in those days, you could raise loads and loads of money. So I actually created a dating website. So trying to match lonely hearts. So that website went really well, especially it was targeting Asian people. Back in the days, in China, there was this one-child policy, and there was predominantly more male than female. So I thought that was a jolly good idea. But the trouble was, whatever was booming was followed by what? A bust. .com just went completely bust, so I lost a lot of money. And in fact, a lot of people don't like failure. Rich, you don't like failures. You don't like the idea of failing or losing or stuff. You know what? You've got to have to learn how to fail. And if you really want to learn how to make money, you have to learn how to lose money. And I was pretty good at that. I was losing so much money, my family, my father's friends' money. So I still remember my dad just didn't talk to me for 3 years because he was so angry. So that was a dating business. But in the end, I remember what got me started for this particular dating business was when I raised my capital, I actually bought my first investment property and I sold it. And I made a lot of money. And I realized at the end of the day, the only thing that actually really makes serious money is what? Property. Yes or no? All right, so do you want to, I've done so many deals now over the years. Do you want to see my first deal? Can I just show you very quickly my first deal? Okay, so here's my first deal. And it was a property in Clapham. Anyone from Clapham or South London? Right, very expensive, yes or no? Right, this was in a Golden Road in Clapham North. Literally just 2 minutes walk from Clapham North tube station. It was a one-bedroom flat with really high ceiling with a massive garden. Guess how much I bought it for in 1999? What do you think? 150? 73,000. 73,000. What can you get in London for 73,000, you think? Something like a toilet seat or a front door, right? Somewhere that you can squat on. 73 grand. That tells you you shouldn't wait to buy property, but you should buy property and wait. Yes or no? So the amazing thing about property is that you only need to put down a fraction of the cost of the price of the property. I only needed to put down 5% deposit, which was £3,650. That is not a lot of money at all. So guess how much a property is worth today? My friend from Clapham, what do you reckon? Golden Road. £700,000. Raise your hand if you think that £3,650 to turn into $700,000 is a pretty good investment. Raise your hand if you think it is. Okay, so that's my first property. Now, the thing is, most people invest in property and they do pretty well. What happened in 2008? What happened in 2008? The crash, right? Financial crash. So prior to 2008, most people or individuals could put together some deposit, buy a property, and then they make money and they build a portfolio. But since 2008, everything changed. But it's just funny that when some people think that 2008 was the time when the crisis began, could also be an opportunity for other people. Right? Rachel, have you ever heard that most millionaires and billionaires are made during financial recessions? Can you see your hands, please? That's exactly the case. So back in 2007, just before 2008, I actually discovered a secret. Go, ooh. Well, you know, when people say that they've discovered a secret, they think, oh, yeah, right. What secret? You know, another one of those secrets you got to reveal. Well, put it this way.
For complimentary resources from my book, my complimentary e-course, The Power of the Question, or recommended reads, go to www.thequestion.com/resources. For more information on my coaching or mentoring, go to www.bernardo-moya.com.
Remember, when I first started, I worked in a chemist shop, counting tablets, wearing a white coat. And I lived in a flat so small that during the night, when I had to go to the bathroom, I would often bang my head on a wardrobe or something because it's so tiny. But in 2007, when everything just went so downhill for a lot of people, many businesses actually went belly up, my business started to thrive. And my life had never been the same. Do you want to see how my life had changed from being a pharmacist counting tablets to what happened afterwards? Can I show you? Yeah? Okay, so this is a picture from someone gave me a throwback 10 years ago. Someone said, 10 years ago, you came to a networking event, everybody wanted they were crowding around you and you needed protection from these people. Obviously, I knew something that they wanted to know. And in 2013, I was invited to speak in one of the biggest conferences in the whole of Southeast Asia. How is someone from the UK growing up in a very sort of relatively poor area, doing a mediocre job, becoming an international speaker among all these gurus in Southeast Asia? It was just so surreal. And then I was in Chinese newspaper. I know John had got one of those, in Chinese, and he said that could have they could have written anything like Chinamen eating too many burgers. I think that's like another one for me, right? So I was in Asian newspapers and I was speaking on this stage in front of 3,000 people, which was pretty overwhelming for me. And then afterwards, I got invited to speak all around the world, and I got interviewed by TV stations in Southeast Asia, primarily in Malaysia. And I started traveling business class and first class as well. You know the difference between business and first? Huge difference. I'm not going to go into that, but let's say there is another dimension out there. And that's when you realize, you look back over your shoulders, and you look at economy class, you think, hell, I'm not going back there. All right, who knows what I'm talking about here? All right, so that's how my life has changed. And my children as well, they travel all around the world. They stay in Four Seasons Hotel. But I make sure that they don't take things for granted. When my daughter was 8 years old, she started a business together with me, selling organic eggs. And she makes so much money that one day, we're in the Henleys, and we're just about to pay for her toy. And she looked at me. She's 8 years old. She said, "Daddy, it's okay." I said, "What?" "I've got money," she goes. I said, "You're 8 years old." And then she pulled out her wallet. She had like £350 in there. I thought, where the hell did you get the money? She said that's all the money that she saved up from her business. Raise your hand if you think that this could be something for young children today to learn about business and entrepreneurship. Thank you. And that's why I do what I do today with Wealth Dragons, with John Lee. And so I travel around a lot. And back in December, it's just amazing that I was in Slovakia, I was in Kuala Lumpur, and then Bali, and then I went to Dubai, and then I went to Denmark and back to London. And I just literally got back from Slovakia and Vienna, so I'm all over the place. By the way, that's my pride and joy. I'm not an extravagant person, but who likes a Aston Martin? You can raise your hands. All right, you like that number plate? So my name is Wong, Vince Wong. That's how I feel when I drive it. And so not long ago, John and I were in Switzerland. We're just dining with some powerful, influential people in Europe, and these are my books. And I was in Dubai Mall. Of all the places in the world, I would just be curious. Oh, would they be stocking my book by any chance? And I found them there. Do you know how surreal it is to have your own book selling in a bookstore? So I went up to the shop assistant and said, "So you see this book?" And she goes, "Do you want to buy it?" I said, No, I'm the author. And she would go, "Wow!" And I signed a book for them, and they put a sticker on saying author signed or something like that, which was quite amazing. So me and John, we do charity gigs as well, and that picture I took 2 days ago, and I just came back from Vienna Stock Exchange, and this is where our company is listed as a PLC. So the reason why I'm showing you this, and that's my house, and that's my kitchen, I just want to show you that, look, I'm not anyone special, okay? I'm not particularly intelligent, academically I was pretty weak. But if I could do this, so can you. I'm not trying to impress you, I want to impress upon you that if there hasn't been property and the way I did it, none of this would be possible. Do you understand that? Say yes. All right? And also, and another secret I want to reveal to you is this. You cannot get immensely wealthy just by buying a few properties. Look, a lot of people in the UK own a lot of investment properties, but they're not mega wealthy. Do you know what the main problem is? Ask me what's the problem.
What's the problem?
Well, a lot of people are what I call asset rich. You know what I mean by asset rich? They own a lot of houses, own a lot of properties, but they are cash poor. All right, they're cash poor. So you know what? I don't care how many houses you own, but if you're cash poor, you are broke. And that means you can't pay for the day-to-day things like sending your children to private schools or even to make ends meet. And that's the problem because of the way financing actually has been. Now, so do you want to learn how to do this properly? If you're getting started or you're looking to buy your first house or you want to start growing your portfolio, do you want to know how to do this properly? Yes. Say yes? Yes. Thank you. So I'm going to share with you a couple of strategies. So first one, you ready?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there's this saying that in business, we say this a lot. Any business owners here? Any business owners? You business owner? Business owner? Okay, good. There's a saying, revenue or sales is, what would you call it? Revenue is vanity. It's vanity. How much money your company turns over is vanity. But the profits you have in your company is sanity. So it's better to have more profit than a lot of revenue but no profit. You see what I'm saying? Yes? In property, it's the same. Property is vanity. It's not about how many properties you own. The equity is sanity. If you have equity, that's better because that's your net worth. But what is cash? Turn to the person next to you and say, cash is king. Cash is king. Say it again. Cash is king. Right? The problem is a lot of people run out of cash. And let me show you how most people actually invest in property. All right? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So we start off going to an estate agent, would buy a house, and normally what you do is you find a property, and you always get to see the listed what. Say it out loud with me. Come on, work with me. Price, all right? The price is what people pay. And very often, when you go to an estate agent, oh, I thought it was someone shouting. So there's a price, but normally when you buy a property, the property also has a value as well. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. So very often the price and the value are pretty much the same. So they're on par. You're paying a sort of fair value for your property. Okay. But one thing I want you to remember is this. It's very important. Okay. The price is what you pay, but the value is what you get. Who said this? A gentleman by the name of Warren Buffett. All right. When it comes to property investing, just like any other asset, the price and the value of the assets are not necessarily the same. During the boom times, what happens? Do you think a lot of people pay a higher price than the value of the property? Yes or no? Right. But let's say they're the same. Right? They're the same. So how do people make money? They buy the property, whatever price they pay at, they have to wait for the price to go up, yes or no? So that means the value will go from here to here. So now you have a new market value. So what do people do? So initially when they buy property at a price, what do they need to start with? It's something called it's called a what? A mortgage, right? We all need a mortgage. And then with the mortgage, you also need to put down a what? A deposit, all right? The deposit probably is about 15, 20, 25%, all right? We all got that, yes or no? So when the property's value goes up, what do you think people do? So now what they do is they try to get the initial deposit back through the process of what? Can someone tell me what's it called? Refinancing. To refinance. So that means you can now borrow a new loan based on a higher valuation. Yes or no? Right? So that means when you refinance, you can borrow more money, and with the more money that you borrow, what you're going to do? You get back the original deposit. Right? And then what do you do with the money that you get back? Reinvest it. Yes or no? You buy your next property. All right? And during the boom times, when prices are going up very quickly, people could buy many, many houses. Who likes the idea of buying many houses? Can I see your hands? Right? But the thing is, do you think the market is going up really fast right now? Say no. All right? It isn't. And that means it's going to take you a long, long time. So what should you do instead? Because if you just put your deposit, all your life savings into one property, you're going to run out of cash. You're not going to see that money for a long time. Yes or no? And otherwise, you're going to have to wait. This could be 5 years, 7 years, or 10 years. So what should you be doing instead? Do you want to learn a different way? Do you want to learn a different way? Okay, just remember, the price is what you pay, but the value is what you get. And you always can refinance when the value is higher, yes or no? So in this case, we do it differently. Right? We do it differently. So how do we do it differently? Well, this time, I don't pay full price for the property. In fact, I begin with knowing what the value of the property is today. And what I want to do is to buy the property at what? BMV. What does that stand for? What does that stand for? Below the market value. So that means I know what the property is worth today, but the price I pay is below the market value. All right? Because now the value is higher than the price that I pay. So what could I do right now? I can refinance immediately on buying the first property. Do you see how that works? Do you want me to repeat? All right, so I'll say it one more time. So, in the first scenario, I pay a price for a property, but I have to wait for the value to go up. When the value is higher than the price, I can refinance on the value. Does it make sense? But that would take place in the future. But in this case, what I'm doing now is I pay a price at below the market value. And that means the value today is higher than the price. So that means if a property is worth £200,000, I buy for 150. Right? So what I do is, because the price is lower than the value, immediately I can refinance on the full market value, which is what? 200,000. Yes? So that means immediately I can pull my money back out. What do I do with that money? I'm going to reinvest it. And that's the reason why you can explain how some people can buy many, many properties very quickly, because they all buy properties at what? Turn the person next to you and say, you need to buy BMV. Come and say, you need to buy below market value. I'll answer questions in a minute. Okay, so now the question would be, how do you go about buying properties at below the market value? Yes or no? I don't want to tell you. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because you're all looking very glum. Do you want me to tell you or not? Are you here to learn, yes or no? So is it okay that you respond to me, yes or no? Give someone a high five and say, I'm here to learn. No. Let's do this again, all right? Give someone a high five and say, I'm here to learn. Okay, all right. I'm not going to go through very quickly because I've got about 10 minutes. So are you ready? Yes. What do you think is the number one skill in property? Repeat after me, negotiation. Right, you need to master negotiation. And look, you know that's the number one skill in property, but people actually don't have the skill. All right, so in order for you to be good at negotiation, there are many rules, many things that you need to learn. Do you want to learn have some tips? Okay, I'm going to give you 2 tips very quickly. Number 1. Is that John you talking about that? It's very loud today. I'm going to smack him later on when I get off stage. What's that word? What's that word? Okay, turn the person next to you and say, never assume. Because assumptions makes an ass out of you and me. Yes or no? You see, that's a problem. If a property is worth 200,000, right? You don't want to put in an offer that is too high. Why? Because you assume straight away that the seller is going to say no. Because you make those assumptions, then you're not going to put in a high offer. In that case, you're not going to buy a property at below the market value. Because, in your mind, you have already made your mind up that the other person is going to say no. Raise your hand if we make a lot of assumptions in our lives. Can you see show hands, please? All right, so never make assumptions. And I'm going to give you one more tip. Okay, are you ready? Say yes? Yes. Okay. It's called Handling objections. You know, a lot of people think that, well, actually, you don't like people telling you no in situations, please. You don't like people rejecting you, all right? You don't like being told no, then you're not going to be very good at negotiation, because the no is where the negotiation begins. And that means you have to be able to handle objections. Does that make sense? All right, so how do you handle objections? Do you want to learn? You want to learn? Okay, here's what we're going to do. I want to put your hand out like this. Tell the person next to you, I want your hands to meet one another. Right? I want to meet one another. On 3, 1, 2, 3, I want to push. Right? As hard as you can. Ready? All right, 1, 2, 3, push! Come on, harder. Come on, push harder. Harder, come on. You're a big guy, you can't even push a lady? What's wrong with you guys? You can't even push a lady? Harder! And stop! What happened? Did it go anywhere? No. So what did that teach you? When people give you resistance, never fight fire with fire. Right? Never apply resistance back. So instead, what should you do? Agree with them. All right, next time, if someone gives you an objection, agree with them. Say something like, I know where you're coming from. I understand what you're saying, rather than fighting back. Right? I understand what you're saying, but this is what I think. Does that make sense?
For more information on collaborating, partnering, sponsoring, supporting, or speaking at any of our events, or finding out more about our legacy clubs, go to www.thebestyou.co. If you're interested in finding out more about the amazing content we have, please go to www.thebestyou.online and get your 14-day free trial now.
Say, person next to you and say, you're awesome. Okay, good. Now, I just want to play a couple of things to show you how it is possible for you to make a lot of money, how you can make money when you buy by getting a discount. So this is a lady, her name is Christine. She came to me a number of years ago, and she never thought that she could negotiate a deal because she thought she had an accent being French. And I want you to listen to her.
Hi, my name is Christine Hertog, and I'm here at the Lifestyle Business Convention for 2 days. And I'm really excited because I've done so many things with, in quite a few years ago now. But Vincent, thanks to Vincent, I got my first lease option deal. And since then I've got another 4. I've done my first B&B deal with them as well. And that one I sold in 2013, 3 years after I bought the flat. It was London, but I made 70,000, and my original investment was probably around 30,000 into that property, because the purchase price was 120. So I also now have to remember that he's the first one who put me on stage, and since then I just love being on stage. So lots of opportunities have come my way after meeting John and Vincent. John actually taught me how to negotiate on the phone, and I love that part, and I never thought I would love it. So thank you, John. Thank you, Vincent.
Do you think you deserve a round of applause? You wouldn't mind earning £70,000 in 3 years just in one deal. Can you see your hands? Right, that's Christine. By the way, she said that John taught her how to negotiate over the phone, right? Guess who taught John? There you go. All right, so this first strategy is based on below market value and you refinance. It's also known as recycling your money. Does that make sense? All right, so you need to recycle your money, otherwise you're going to run out of cash. Don't want to learn another strategy? All right, okay. Since you're so enthusiastic, I'm going to teach you something that I'm known for in this industry. Is learning how to buy property without using any money whatsoever. All right, you want to learn how to do this? Okay, so it's all about it's the concept of controlling assets. Right? There's a gentleman by the name of Rockefeller. He said, the secret to wealth is to own nothing but control everything. So let me ask you a very simple question. Raise your hand right now, you've got a mortgage. And you're a homeowner with a mortgage. You see your hands nice and high, nice and high, nice and high. Point to yourself, and say, I don't own that house. Come on, say it out loud. I don't own that house, because that's true. You don't believe me? Stop paying your mortgage for 4 months, and you know exactly who owns the house, right? It's not you. So property investing ultimately is not about ownership. It's about what? Say twice about? It's about control. Thank you very much. It's about control. So how does that work? How can you buy a house without using any money? It's all based on negotiation of the terms. Okay, so I'll give you one scenario and you know what I mean. So when you buy a property with mortgage, you only want 2 things. One is what? Capital, appreciation, and the second thing is the cash flow. So in other words, if somehow you can get capital appreciation on a property and you get cash flow, it doesn't matter whether you have a mortgage or not. As long as you get these 2 things, you're happy, yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, so here's the scenario for you. Let's say I've got a seller. He's got a property, market value is 300,000, right? And he's got very little equity. You know what I mean by equity? So he's got a very high mortgage. His outstanding mortgage is 300K. So that's very little equity, right? So let's say this person is living in a property and paying a mortgage every single month. And what's the monthly mortgage for 300 grand debt? What do you think? Roughly, let's say £1,000 a month, right? 1K a month. So if this guy or lady can continue paying this, it's fine. There's no worry. Nothing will happen. But what if this person has actually lost his or her job? What's going to happen? This is going to build up, yes or no? Right? So after 2 months it's 2 grand, 3 months it's 3 grand, and you keep going. How many months do you think it will take before the bank will knock on the door and repossess? Probably 6 months, yes or no? So what's the only way for this person to stop paying the mortgage? Is to sell the house, yes or no? Yes or no? How long does it take to sell a house? 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, 2 years. The fact is, we don't know. Yes or no? So how do we get around this? Well, so in this scenario, if this owner of the house can stop paying the mortgage from next month, is the end result the same? Does that solve this person's problem? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Say yes if you believe that that's so. If this person doesn't have to pay the mortgage from next month, that will solve the owner's problem. Raise your hand if you think that's the case. Thank you. All right? So how will I structure this deal? I will tell the seller, the owner, that I will pay the owner's mortgage from next month. And the owner can actually move out of the property. So that will allow the owner to move on, right? And what am I going to do with this property? I'm going to rent it out. I might rent it out for $1,400 a month. In that case, how much do I make? How much do I make? Come on, give me some math. 400, right? Hey, by the way, you guys want to be property investors? Yes or no? Then this is very simple. Don't look at me like, right? You know this stuff, right? But it's just that when you know it and you don't practice it, you don't really know it. Does it make sense? Yes? Okay, so you make £400 a month. But at the same time, what if I say to the owner, I will fix the price at which I buy the property, but I won't buy it today. I'll buy it in the future, let's say in the next 10 years. So I'll fix the price at $300,000 for 10 years. So how much do you think in 10 years from now the property will be worth? Double, at least, right? 600. And how much would I buy it for? 300. And how much do I make? 300. It's very simple, right? Does it cost me any money? No, it does not. Right? It's just a contract negotiation. And that's what property is all about. And this is what I teach my students, and this is what I'm known for. Right? When you make 300 grand, can you give some of that money back to the original owner? to do a profit share? Yes or no? Oh, by the way, raise your hand if you actually find what I'm saying useful or interesting at all. At all. Oh, good, all of you. I'm just getting a bit worried because you all look like... Just because, am I showing you something new here? Right, just because something is new doesn't mean it's not doable. This is done very extensively around the world, and this technique is called a lease option. All right, you lease a property with an option of buying, and I'm known as the lease option founder in 3 countries: here in the United Kingdom, in the Netherlands, and in Malaysia. And I'm about to implement this in Eastern Europe as well. So, raise your hand if you'd like to learn a lot more about these options. Can you see your hands, please? Before that, I just want to play you another quick video. Because you say to me that you can't get on the property ladder in London because it's so expensive, right? So if you were to, well, how much is an average property in London right now, you think? How much? $1 million? Half a million? Let's say 500K, right? So if you have to put down 20% deposit, is how much? It's 100K, right? So if you don't have to put a deposit down for this property by doing lease options, how much do you save? How much do you save? Come on. Raise your hand if you want to save 100K. All right, okay. Let me ask you another question. If you don't actually need a mortgage to do a deal like this, it's just based on contract. How many deals do you think you can potentially do? How many deals? Raise your hand if you wouldn't mind doing 1 deal a year. Can I see show of hands, please? 1 deal a year, no money in London, right? Let me just play this very quick video for you. It's someone who's never ever invested in property before. And this person could never get a mortgage either because of him being self-employed. Right? He had no hope in hell of getting a mortgage. And I want you to see what results he got.
My name is Vincent Wong, and I joined Inner Circle, Vincent Inner Circle in 2000. So last year, March, at the end of March last year, that was one of the best investments I made. So from a student, I got 5 lease options, and now I'm filming 2 deals a month. And now I'm in a position I start buying my own properties, so I would like to thank Flo that Flo is someone that you can call anytime. Basically, even if she's on holiday, you can call her. Basically, someone you can text and she'll get back to you in a couple of minutes. So I highly recommend Florence as a coach. She's very knowledgeable and very loving.
Okay, I'm going to pause there. So, how many lease option deals has this guy done? You hear? 5 deals. If each deal he saved 100 grand, how much money has he saved? £500,000. 5 lease option deals. And right now he's flipping so many deals that he's earning something like £20,000 a month passive. Raise your hand if you wouldn't mind that. Since your hands is £20,000 a month. It's pretty good, right? You probably would give up your job doing that. Yes or no? So it's a question for you. Raise your hand if you'd like to learn a lot more of everything that I've talked about. Can you see your hands nice and high? Okay, so my time is pretty much up, so can I just get straight to the point? Yes or no? Alright, so I do actually have an opportunity for you. So right now I'm very, very busy because I'm CEO of Web Expert PLC. My company just gone public, and I'm very, very busy with a lot of stuff. But I do enjoy teaching people who are very serious. So raise your hand if you're serious. If you're serious about learning. Okay, so your hands. Oh, pretty awesome. Okay. So I do have a masterclass that I run, and so in this masterclass I teach things in more depth. So based on the things that you already learned about, which are how to recycle your money through buying below market value and also lease options. How does it really work? And I'll go into that in more depth. And it's a 1-day event. How long? It's a one-day event. And I'm going to give you live case studies as well, because I only had 1 hour here today. Because I was very limited to what I could show you. I've got lots and lots of things I would like to show you. And also, I haven't even shown you my #1 secret reveal. I haven't revealed my #1 secret. And this secret is exactly what allowed me to be where I am today and how my students, and I'll show you how amazing this particular strategy is. One of my students actually made 6 figures cash in one deal going to his bank account. So when you come to this masterclass, he will actually show you his bank account with £186,000 going into his bank account. And before that, he was broke. Raise your hand if you wouldn't mind having that sort of money going to your bank account in one deal. Say yes. Say yes again.
Yes.
Come on, right? That's possible. Why is it possible? Because this is property. I'm not talking about selling an ebook. I'm not talking about selling a microwave oven or a fridge. This is high value asset. When you use it as a trading vehicle, it's very, very powerful. Just to put things in perspective, £1 million asset, 1% difference is equivalent to what? 10,000. Just 1% difference. Imagine when you can possess the skills of negotiating deals at 20 to 30% discount. Can you see how much money you can make? Yes or no? Yes or no? Right, so when you come to, if you have the opportunity to come to my masterclass, I'll show you how one student makes 6 figures cash and another student makes 7 years equivalent of income in one deal. Raise your hand if you wouldn't mind that. Say yes. 7 years, right? You know they say that seeing is believing, yes or no? Believing is seeing. All right, believing is seeing. And this is true. I've helped a lot of people become very, very successful in property. So the question is, raise your hand if you'd like me to help you. Say yes? All right, okay, so here's how it's going to work. I know John has already, some of you were in the last session with John, and he gave me an offer. And it's true. For a one-day event, normally we charge anything from £1,000 to £2,000. So for my one-day masterclass, it's normally £1,200. So raise your hand if you'd like me to do something really special for you. Okay, so your hands please, really special for you. Okay. So the reason why I'll do it is because I'm here at the You EXPO. I'm very good friend with Bernardo. I've known him for a long time. He said, you've got to do something very, very special. But the thing is, this is what people pay. And it's my time as well. Spending time with you one-to-one in a very small environment. It's going to be in my headquarters, in my office as well. So I'm going to do something amazing for you, but I can do for 30 people only. So later on, if this is what you want to do, you know that for those who started for John's program, you have to go outside and turn right and go to the desk and get so registered. So I can do for 30 people only today. So you ready? Say yes if you're ready. You know what? I'm happy to sponsor you 50%. So all you pay is £600. Okay, is that pretty good? Yes? All right, for those of you who register, I will also give you a copy of my book as well. So when you turn up, I'll sign the book for you and we take a picture as well. And when you turn up, I'm going to share with you some really, really, really amazing strategies. Is that okay? All right, so my time is pretty much up now. It's been a pleasure. But before you go, you might be thinking, oh, it's still more expensive than John's program. I tell you what, you can't even compare. John teaches social media and all this light and stuff like that. This is property deals. One deal can make you tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds. Can you see the return on investment? Yes or no? But at the same time, I'm going to give you something absolutely ridiculous, all right? But you have to be ready to take action. Are you ready? All right, for 30 people going to register, and you can actually go now. You've got my permission to go. I'm going to slash it another 50%. You only pay £297, okay? 297, and you can go to register. Later on, I don't want you to rush. You just take your time, go to register, and then you spend one day with me. And some of you might want to ask, where is the venue? It's going to be on the 26th of March, and you'll be coming to Wild Dragon's headquarters in Milton Keynes. Okay, so that's it. So for those of you who want to register, go to register, and I will meet you on the 26th of March, and I'll spend a whole day with you. and I will feed you as well, okay? Is that pretty cool? All right, so that's it for me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the exhibition. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Mr. Vincent Wong!
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.